So a typical day would be breakfast at home with everybody there, and then Father would sit in his marvelous sun porch that we had and watch the birds. And men would come in and talk, and I'm sure a lot of business was transacted in that sun porch. And then we children, probably at that point, would go down to the beach. The people were very interested in games on the beach and athletics. And whenever a lot of children came, we always had all kinds of games on the beach. And I remember that the waiters used to be the ones that would be cheering us along. And I can still see Mother in her long dress playing tennis. That was really our family game. And golf. Father was quite a good golfer, and I played golf a lot as a young person. Mr. and Mrs. Rockefeller loved children. They were the first people, I think, who had tricycles made for adults. And they would invite us to tricycle over and go to lunch with them occasionally. We would come up from the beach and go over to lunch, and then the horses would be ordered, and we'd take a drive. We always drove with Mother and Father every afternoon. We just did that and expected to do it. And then Mother always had tea in the afternoon. The table was set in the middle of our big living room, and people would come in and have tea. And then Mrs. Morgan, when we were little, she would ask my sister and me if we'd like to come over and have tea with her. And she would say, "Now be sure to bring your dolls because I have tea for them." And then, of course, always dressed for dinner, always. The men always wore tuxedos, and the women always wore long dresses. And we always had to get dressed up. And I can remember one thing that always amuses me as I look back now is that our dresses would be laid out and the clean petticoat that had been pressed, so that we'd be sure to be looking nice. There was very little after dinner. Maybe sometimes they'd get together and play cards, or sometimes they'd have music, but it was very simple. So I would say that was sort of a typical day for our family.